And welcome back to another edition of Tell Me Something Good. So excited. The feedback's been amazing that every day we're talking with business leaders, salespeople, athletes, just great, entertainers, anybody who wants to share something good. And boy, we can all use it. So today I'm even more excited than normal because I get to welcome my nephew, my third son, although Shay would probably have a problem with that. So welcome, Scott Garber.
Hey guys. Hey, Steve, thanks for having me on your platform. Really excited. Got big shoes to fill. Scott and Sam from One Huddle and Mike Rowley. The content has just been contagious at a time where the world needs it more than ever before. So, Steve, I'm coming to you today with a few things that are good, and that might be
Bring it
anomaly.
on, man. Just like in Noodleberg, man. Bring that energy, baby.
So just to go ahead and be humans first. The first thing that I want to tell you that's good is before all of this crazy coronavirus took over, I was able to reconnect with every single person in my family. And we are the best that we've probably ever been. And I think, as we roll into more turbulent times, what an unbelievable thing to have. And so, just feeling supported and loved through this crazy turmoil lays the foundation like no other. So FOE, if you
hashtag FOE, we use it all the time. And I totally agree with you, Scott. There's never been a better time to reinvent your relationship with your family.
And that's just it, as we've been talking through this, this coronavirus, we like to think of it sort of as a great neutralizer, an equalizer. And it didn't matter how successful your business was or how successful you were as a person. Everybody right now is sort of on the same field. And I think that's what is letting the tools and the content really free flow. And people are absorbing it. And Steve, the next thing I want to talk about that's good has to do with something that we're not doing today or we didn't do yesterday. And you taught me this, and that success is in the preparation. And so you, my friend, have been preparing for the digital shift for the last 5 years. What an unbelievable role model and mentor that I've had to teach me that going against the grain and doing something different is what people are really attracted to. And so in times of turmoil, leaders only prevail because they've been practicing and preparing while the rest of us have been sitting on the sideline. So I have taken that iteration of it, and the best thing that's going on in my life is I'm prepared. I feel so successful and so nimble to take advantage of opportunity because of the preparation and the foundation that me and my fiance laid for our life 10 months ago. So,
and Scott, the great thing is because you're an ex-athlete, you were a punter at South Alabama. The idea that you understood, just like Mark talks about in his coaching, just like Jake talks about in his work, they spend a whole week getting ready to play a 60-minute game. This is game time. This is that shift that you talked about, that it's been happening and there's been a lot of resistance to it. But the reality is you, my friends and clients who have bought into what I've been saying, and, there's been a lot of people who, like I said, hey, cold calling is dead 5 years ago. And people said, oh, one person actually reached out to me and said, that's because you suck at it. I was like, I don't want to be good at that. I don't want to be good at that. I want to be good at building relationships. We have not been busier or more productive than we are now. And you see great leaders, the companies I work with, Dex and Worldwide, and some of their people, and people I don't work with. Like I read an article this morning from Microsoft, their leadership said the meetings that they're having are so much more productive. They're so much more focused and dialed in. So I'm grateful and humbled by your comment about my work. So thank you. That is something good for sure.
Well, and it's really cool because it rubbed off to me, you being my uncle, my mentor, it really rubbed off in a way that wasn't the digital world. And so, for all of you guys that don't know me, me and my fiance, we completely stepped out of the whole ecosystem. We bought an 11-foot travel trailer last year and did 20,000 miles across the United States. And we turned our cell phones off. We had a chance to lay the foundation. And we feel right now that we are actually proactive in this. And so I would challenge people as we're going through these exercises. One of the eye-opening things for us is we found out that we were living in a reactive society, right? We're waiting for someone to tell us what to do and then act on it.
Well said. Really well said.
In this time where you're forced to look at yourself in the mirror, ask yourself what success really is. How do you define it? And what is the objective of what you're trying to get from this journey of life? And I think as you start to understand what that objective is, then you'll make successful moves in laying a foundation and being proactive with how. And so just so all you listeners know, if you were to see what I had on paper, you might be like, this guy's not really successful. But guess what, guys? I am more successful for the version of success that we've created than I've ever felt. And so
it is a personal choice. And I think, you bring up a point that a lot of people don't know what they want. So if you don't know what you want, you're never going to get it, because you can't identify it. So it's really cool.
It's really cool. And I think, I read a really cool little quote through all this. And it said that it's not the strongest people that are going to survive this. And it's not the most intelligent people that will survive this. It's the ones that are able to adjust and overcome the changing environment in which we find ourselves. And that was a really weird paradigm for me, because I was striving for security and comfort. And I ultimately found myself making these hard decisions, but proactively signing up for them. And so now that the world is sort of folded in and we're having to, sort of redefine the normal, we've been doing this, right? And it's like when someone comes to you, it's like, hey, how do you take business and prospecting to LinkedIn? Hey, I don't have to think about it. We've been doing this, right? This is what we do. And
you bring such great enthusiasm to it. And the one thing that hasn't changed is that people buy relationships. And so if you're doom and gloom, who wants to be around people that are doom and gloom? I've had so many people reach out to me. I'm so grateful for being a leader in this time and sharing positivity. Our daily huddle has grown and is doing great. But this is just who I am. I am living my genuine life. I'm not going to get up every day and go, oh my God, I'm paralyzed by fear, because guess what? As a career sales guy, I never knew what was happening the next day anyway. Yeah. There was no guarantees. Man. It was like everything I thought would happen never did. There was always a fire because I put in the work. So it really hasn't changed. To your point, hasn't changed at all.
And the coolest thing for the listeners is, I've been with Steve on this journey of, on the ball transitioning now for a few years. And if you would have heard his early content and you would have heard the early videos, and to see where he's at now, it's two completely different environments and pitches and tones. And so if you are just entering into this digital game and sort of picking it up, stick with it, because we refine the tool set. We only get better the more we work at it. And so if this is just a transformation for you now, Steve wasn't always this good. He always had the energy, but he wasn't always this good.
Be careful. Oh, that's awesome.
So it's amazing, guys. So, I think, just as a fun story of watching the huddle come to life, huge shout out to Brittany Williams from Worldwide Express, just putting herself out there to the huddle, to the social sphere. Had an awesome call with her this morning. So, the more we can take this online group environment and become and build personal relationships, that's what we're all striving for. And then the business just organically, I think, follows, because there's going to be a lot of gaps as we start to redefine that normal. So if I could leave the Tell Me Something Good show with a thought is, just do the right thing for the right reason. And I think success will follow you as you define it. So that's sort of my overarching message for everybody.
That's pretty awesome, Scott. I mean, young people, especially, they've never seen anything like this. I'm going to be 60 years old. I've never seen anything like it. But one of the things that is a guarantee is that there is no guarantee. So, so I love what's happening because, when you adapt, when you overcome, when you do all those things, that's where the real, doing the work. I just got off the phone with Ron Hale from Dex, and we were having this great conversation. And he goes, the thing that people are always looking for, and this happened a lot in my early digital trainings, was that they're looking for the silver bullet. They're looking for something that's easier, that will replace the work. And one thing about you, and one thing about my boys, and one thing about being having Noodleberg blood is there is no replacement for the work.
Yep.
And so doing the work is so key. We have different tools that allow us to do the work. I think that there'll be better trust. The environment's going to be better. I think this shift will be, and I don't want to be disrespectful to people who are fighting the virus, and it's a unique time, but you are what you think. And so you're a great guy to be around. I know that the people in the huddle really enjoy you, and there's big things ahead for you. So thanks for being on. Thanks for sharing you. And the only thing I can tell you is continue to stay on the ball.
Have a great day, guys. Wash your hands.
See you, brother.